Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Babbling Irons video with myself and Sloth today. Another breakdown of the importance of a player who came in January. We're going to both be here right now and hold our hands up because we got this one absolutely wrong. He has been brilliant. Of course, James Ward-Prowse, just absolutely brilliant so far, providing goals, assists. I think 2 goals and 7 assists in all competitions so far this season, which is pretty insane. And just his general play has been that's what's impressed me most. I knew the set pieces were going to come, but his actual contribution in open play is what surprised me, and it's what I had the most concerns about. So let's explore the importance of James Ward-Prowse to this team under David Moyes so far this season, because he has been very good. We have to say he's been one of our best players so far this season.
Yeah, definitely. And his summer move was one that I questioned. It's it's pretty embarrassing, but I'm more than happy for players to prove me wrong, especially when they're doing it with such great return. I think one of the things that's brought the best out the side is his delivery from absolutely everything he does. It's not just his ability to take corners, free kicks. It's also just picking passes as he does. And, Mike and I kind of questioned his running inside, whether it's actually constructive or whether it was kind of headless chin type stuff. And I just think at the moment it's really paying off. Everything he does seems to at least be fruitful in some way. And I think it's because of the sort of solid unit that we have, whether it's the midfield being able to physically win battles that I think Southampton didn't. The criticisms that I had, I think they're more sort of replicas of what we were kind of critical about Souček of last season, in the fact that Southampton midfield was very exposed at times. And it's very clear that it wasn't so much the fault of him or Lavia. It was, in fact, the system. And, criticisms on me for not being able to see that. But I think it's one of those things where in our system, he's absolutely shining, and everything he does just seems to really turn his energy, his work rate, the delivery, but also getting stuck in and winning the ball back. I think he's really shone this season.
I think as well, he's just found that instant connection with players on the pitch. His link up along the left-hand side a lot of this season with Paqueta and Emerson has been amazing. It's been really, really good. Our technical ability on the ball in midfield has just gone up a level with him in there, with him and Alvarez coming in. And, we've started to see Souček come into the team and make those late runs, and he's not really involved in that, but he doesn't have to be anymore. There's no dependency on Souček to be that player, because you've got Alvarez in the build-up, you've got, Ward-Prowse in the build-up, and then you've got Paqueta drifting in from the left, who can, come back deeper and, find those pockets. And it just allows Souček to them roam free. And it also gives Ward-Prowse that space in midfield as well. When Souček's making those runs forward, Paqueta's coming inside, the midfield of the opposition don't really know who to pick up. Ward-Prowse is very good at that. He's very, very clever at finding those spaces, which I've noticed. And, like I mentioned, his technical ability in open play has been what surprised me the most. And even what you mentioned with his contributions defensively, breaking up play. We saw it against Newcastle when, Bruno should have got that second yellow, which we don't care about at all anymore. But, he's been very good at the industrious side of it as well. And, like you mentioned, in the summer, we questioned it because, yes, he pressed well. Yes, he pressed high. But it was what we saw as pressing for no sake. But now you look at that Southampton team from last season, completely different to how David Moyes plays. There's so much more structure to what we do. And it's very rare we'll just go out and press and leave ourselves exposed, because, to be honest, when we do try and press high up the pitch like that, we do get exposed very easily. So, it's something we're more cautious of compared to Southampton. And, it's helped Ward-Prowse in that sense. So obviously his contributions have been amazing. Goals, set pieces. I mean, his goal against Man City and against Brighton as well, both indications that he's not just that sit-in midfielder that's, pinging passes. He will get in the box and he will try to score goals. I mean, his fantastic header against Man City, he started the move against Brighton and then ended up in the box and scoring. So has that surprised you at all? He's not just a holder. He will try and go and score goals in the box.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown that sort of late run into the box that we saw from Lampard so often across his career.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that he just didn't really get to do that much at Southampton. We saw more sort of long range efforts, which, we haven't really seen so far. But it's the timing of his runs that's really impressed me. And as you said, finding the space, chasing things into the area or around the edge of the area, whether it's to win the ball back or whether it's just to link up with someone. He's done that really, really well. It's kind of weird because I wrote an article a long time ago, probably about 7 or 8 years ago now, suggesting that we sign him when Mark Hughes was the manager, because he was very out of favour under Mark Hughes.
That must have been about 2014.
I think so, yeah. And I said, look, he's homegrown and he is very like Noble. And I think we've seen the best elements of Noble's game shining in him. And, when we look at how he's playing, he's got that, but he's got the added set pieces, which Noble had at times, but he's also got the leadership Noble had. And I think that's been huge for us. He's talkative on the pitch and he also leads by example. And that's massive for us.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think, there's many different types of leaders on a pitch, and he's the prime example of leading by example on the pitch. And, what he does is it has surprised me. I'll be honest. What he has done to this team has surprised me. I knew about the set pieces, and I knew that was going to be an area that we were going to target this season, and it's worked amazingly. But like we're mentioning, that there's more to his game than just set pieces, and that similarity with Mark Noble is a very good comparison, because Mark Noble was very good in that kind of mid-third block of dictating play, pinging passes wherever. But one thing Ward-Prowse does a little bit more than Noble, maybe I'm remembering Noble from the later stage of his career, but, getting into the box, finding those areas to have shooting opportunities in and around the box. And, Noble did do that maybe towards the younger stages of his career, but towards the end, he kind of became that deep playmaker. And, for a few years, it did hurt us in the end, because once we got Declan Rice in the midfield with Noble, it was clear that, Noble's legs had caught up to him. And, someone like Ward-Prowse coming in, obviously Declan Rice left this summer. It's hard to not, praise what Ward-Prowse has done, because there was a massive, massive task ahead of us. Remember what people were saying in the summer: how are we going to ever replace this guy? Although we're getting 100 million, who's going to come in? Oh, we don't really want Ward-Prowse. It's just a Moyes signing. But we've all been proven wrong on that. Him and Alvarez coming in have complemented each other really well. And are you surprised that he's integrated into the team so fast and so well, or is that something maybe that having that Premier League experience helps you bring in straight away?
I think that, look, there's no such thing as a sure signing. I think that's the first thing to say.
Yeah.
There were people who were telling us that Danny Ings was a sure bet, and look how that's turned out. However, we've just got to say that I myself got it wrong, and he has been fantastic. He has thrived in that space because of the athleticism that we have around us, and I think that's one of the key things where the whole side has improved. Mike and I have gone on for ages about the lack of pace we have in this side, and we can improve on that area.
Yeah.
However, it's the work rate that's gone up as well, the physicality and the ability on the ball, because we've always had players who try hard. I think sometimes the technical edge has lacked, and now it just seems like we have got a very composed starting 11.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the key word is balance. We found that balance in midfield, and each player profiles complement each other really, really well, and that's what we like. We've got that versatility now. We've got different options, as we spoke about the Kudus video. If you want to go check that out, but we do have different options, and James Ward-Prowse, he is pretty much a mainstay. So anything that kind of happens going forward this season, he's going to be involved in my opinion. I don't think he's a droppable player to David Moyes, unless the set pieces completely dry up and his performances dip off, because he was David Moyes' key target for not just this summer, last summer as well. He really wanted to bring him in, and again in January. So Yeah, Ward-Prowse, very, very important to this team. We both hold our hands up. He has been by far better than what we expected. So continue doing it, James. But one thing we're kind of annoyed at, you haven't scored a free kick yet. So what's going on there? Stuff. Can we be critical of that?
I think lots of sides just know the risk there now. We saw it against Newcastle. It's one of my pet peeves, is that we could see him, stealing yards. And when you've got someone as good as that on the ball, a dead ball scenario, teams are going to do that every single time. We haven't had that many opportunities, which I think is probably why we're being hypercritical, because we want the chances that we do get. However, it'll come when you've got that ability to strike a ball. It'll come.
Yeah, exactly. We expected the free kicks, but he's brought something else, so we're not going to complain. And yeah, hopefully the performances can continue, and West Ham's performances can continue. But yeah, that's going to be all for today, guys. Let us know what you think of James Ward-Prowse in the comments, how you found him so far in a West Ham shirt. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next video. Leave a like, subscribe, and Sloth, one thing left to say.
Come on, you eyes.